Hello, my strong friends, and welcome to my 8-week strength and muscle building program, Uplifted. This program is made to help you grow. Let's get lifting and get uplifted.
Gentlemen, when you think of an alpha male, you probably think of a dude who's big and strong. But in my opinion, a true alpha male is someone who also has the perfect balance of style and substance.
Welcome to my 30-day ab program. There are a lot of familiar movements, but there are plenty of others that you probably haven't seen before. You now have everything you need to build that six-pack you've always wanted.
Foundations of Fitness Nutrition is designed to be a comprehensive and applicable guide to help everyone make more educated choices about the food they eat.
What's up, guys? Kris Gethin here, back at Bodybuilding.com HQ. Of course, I'm not here just to look pretty. I'm here to put you guys through a workout. Today, we're going to be going through back. Now, it's going to be predominantly movements that's going to target your rhomboids, your traps, and your lumbar. It's not going to be so much your lats directly. Indirectly, yes, they will get worked, particularly the thickness, that three-dimensional look of your lat, not so much the widths. We can do that alternate. So sometimes I like to prioritize my lats. Other times I like to prioritize my traps and my rhomboids and the thickness of the back. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Now you will notice that the majority of the exercises that we're going through is going to be a unilateral. So I'm going to be using one arm at a time. And number two, the reason why I'm doing this and doing mainly traps, rhomboids, and lumbar is because if you haven't heard yet and you've just tuned in, I had shoulder surgery about 6 weeks ago, had my rotator cuff fixed, had my labrum fixed, had my clavicle shaved. So I just got out of a sling a couple of weeks ago, so I'm still navigating my way around the gym, finding out kind of what works for me, what doesn't, and making sure that I rehab correctly. However, that is not an excuse not to work out. That's why we're here, to work out and work around injuries. And I'm sure a lot of you have had injuries before, so hopefully you can figure out what movements, exercises, and angles work for you. I know what works for me now. So we're about to get into this workout. Have your pre-caged first. I got my pre-caged in here, gone, and now I'm starting to drink my in-caged now, just to ensure that I get the blood flow around the body, stay focused so I don't get easily distracted and start steering outside. I want to be into this workout and focused. So we're going to start off with cable rows, okay? Cable row machine, I like to go with a neutral grip, nice and close, so it can really squeeze the shoulder blades together when you're doing this. Make sure that you stick your chest out when you contract and then roll your shoulders out at the full stretch portion of it. So let's get straight into this. So I'm using straps here. I got this local brand, Gym Reapers, really good. But regardless of the straps that you use, I find it very beneficial to use the straps so you don't have to focus on your forearms or your grip giving out. You're focusing on contracting and working your back. Remember, you're only as strong as your weakest link, so don't let your grip strength be that. So I'm going to select a weight first, nice and light, just to warm up in here. Get a good stretch, squeeze. Good stretch, squeeze. Now you'll notice that I'm going very slow on this exercise. The reason being is that I've just got to be very careful with this shoulder. So I'm keeping constant tension applied and not putting more pounds of pressure in different parts of the movement. I'm trying to keep it consistent throughout. Whew, that feels really good. I tell you what, you have no idea how good that feels because I haven't been able to train back at all. I just went through the movements last week, felt okay. Today feels even better.
Our first question is from YouTube. Hey Kris, love you. I'm recovering from a herniated disc for my lower back. Do you have any suggestions or tips for getting back into training?
Yeah, obviously I'm not a physician. You're going to have to go and see your rehab specialist or your physician for your particular case. Even if you've slipped a disc, have a bulging disc, everybody has a unique case. However, what I like to do and do with my clients is make sure that any movement that you're doing specifically for back is supported. So you'll notice that I'm doing a cable row now. That's unsupported, meaning my chest isn't supported. So I would, for instance, have like a bench inclined like this, and that's how I would do my rows. Because I know that's not gonna put any undue stress upon my spine, okay, which you don't want. You know, if you're doing a row, seated row, you do it with a machine and your chest is supported. If you're doing lower back, probably stay away from deadlifts for the time being and maybe move on to more of a hyperextension exercise and higher repetitions to ensure that you don't put any strain on your spine, but place it all on the muscle.
How many exercises makes for a good back workout?
Usually about 5, 4 or 5 definitely, because you've got so many, if you're doing overall back, we're not doing upper traps or lats today, so we've got mainly just like 4 exercises. But a normal back workout, you're probably looking about 5, sometimes 6 exercises. The only reason being is that you've got muscle fibers running in so many different directions. Your back is the most complex muscle group of the entire body. You have your lats, you have your lumbar, you have your rhomboids. Obviously you have your upper, middle and lower fibers of the traps. It's a complex movement, so that's why, complex muscle, sorry. That's why you have to provide so many different movements for it. Yep, okay, second set. Go a little heavier this time, so I'm feeling a little more comfortable. So the idea is if you're dealing with an injury, try not to stress your muscles with too much weight on the stack, but use it with a nice controlled movement and using your mind-muscle connection to add that added stress.
We have a supplement question. What is the difference between pre-caged and in-caged?
Okay, pre-caged and in-caged, what is the difference? All you got to do is look at the labels on the back and you'd have that answer. But pre-caged is, the ingredients in there are profiled and dosed to prime your body and prime your brain before the workout. So you'll have certain ingredients, I'm not going to go through every single one, in certain dosages that are perfect for that. Then you'd have that about 40 minutes before your workout. So I had it on just as I left home on the drive up here. That's when I had my pre-cage. Now, throughout the workout, I'll have my intra-workout, which is my in-cage. Now this will ensure that I stay as pumped, as focused, as strong, able to buffer lactic acid through the entirety of the workout. So sometimes you may start really strong, really pumped, energized, focused, but then you start to dwindle off towards the end of your workout. That's what in-cage is for.
What is the benefit of unilateral training?
Unilateral, I find, number one, with unilateral training, you're able to focus on one side a lot more than able, if you're hitting both sides at the same time using bilateral movements. So for instance, you may go onto a leg press, okay, and you're using one leg. You wouldn't even use half the amount as you normally would with both legs. But what you'll find is a completely different stress. You'll wake up this morning and your legs are much sore than they sometimes are when you're hitting both legs at the same time using a much less weight. So if you have injuries or any niggling problems, inflammation within your joints, it also has that added benefit. It's just good to swap things up every now and again. If you really want to go heavy and you want to obviously increase your free testosterone in your body, your natural growth hormone release, then you'd use mostly bilateral movements. But once you've built up that base and you're trying to sculpt a little better and get that mind-muscle connection, you'd use unilateral in there as well. Yeah? I'm free to go again. Now, speaking of that mind-muscle connection, okay, I talked about in-cage, but you should stay extremely hydrated throughout your body whilst you're working out as well, especially if you're in a humid climate or the gym, you sweat a lot. Make sure that you keep replenishing yourself with your fluids, because otherwise you will lose that pump no matter what product you take. I'm gonna go a little heavier again as I'm feeling more comfortable. Hopefully my shoulder won't fall off live on camera. Ooh, that hit the spot. What you'll notice is if you do have an injury and you're forced to go lighter, that it's really good, because I'm not saying go out and get injured so you can experience this, but you really focus on the muscle that much more as opposed to the reps, the speed of the movement, etc. And you're able to really isolate those muscles even on a compound exercise. So it's kind of like starting from scratch all over again. You lose all the bad habits and you start incorporating all the good ones.
So we have a question from Facebook. Hey Kris, do you have an update on your Faradox experiment of taking 3 caps daily?
3 capsules, okay, well I haven't had the blood test yet. I can tell you what I have felt. I have felt more focused. I can't say that I've felt more strength because I haven't been putting my body to the test. I'd like to put it to the test again when I'm actually fully healed and in good health in order to do so. But I feel like I do have higher free testosterone levels. Like I said, I feel more focused, I feel more energized, vitality is there, but I don't know for sure because I haven't had my blood test done yet. And I can't really put it to test properly without being in good health as well.
What is your thoughts on the debate between EAAs and BCAAs?
Well, this is what's crazy, is that they're 2 completely different amino acids. Obviously, one's branched, the other's essential. Well, they're all essential, one's branched. But the thing is, some people say, well, BCAAs are better, EAAs are better. Neither are one's not better than the other because they both have completely different roles. Like, obviously EAAs is going to help support healthy muscle protein synthesis, but you're going to have good muscle energy coming from your branched chain amino acids as well. I find it really buffers my lactic acid in endurance sports as well. So they have 2 completely different effects, but they both complement each other. One isn't better than the other. That's like saying a pre-workout is better than a post-workout. Well, they're kind of different and you have them for different uses, or you should just incorporate them both, but obviously at the times that you need it. I like to have an insulin spike with mine every now and again, so I'll have that post-workout. I know that it's going to provide, EAA is going to provide that muscle protein synthesis as well, so sometimes I'll have that on the non-training days or straight after my cardio as well, so different strokes.
Are you still competing in the Tempe Ironman?
Yes, I am. I hope. I just haven't been. I'm probably not going to be able to attempt swimming until about 4 weeks out. And unfortunately, for about 3 of those weeks, I'll be traveling, or 2 of those weeks, I'll be traveling. So we'll just see. Yeah, I'm entered for it, and I'm all gung-ho to go for it, Other than booking my Airbnb, I'm already there. All right, so we've done that. What have we got next? We've got the unilateral dumbbell rows now. So with a dumbbell row, obviously I'm going to do this one arm at a time because I'm going to go slightly heavier on my right side as opposed to my injured side being the left. So you can do this leaning on a bench, leaning up against a dumbbell rack if you don't mind pissing off the other members. However, I like to sometimes have an incline bench and I'll just lean on there slightly. Sometimes you can lean on your knees, but this is the version that I'm gonna use today. So I'm gonna start off with my weaker side. So I'll put those to the side. And again, I'm using the straps here. So I don't have to worry about my grip strength. I don't give a shit about the size of my forearms, really. They get developed from back and biceps anyway. And then I'll just put my weight onto this hand here, make sure the back is straight. Now I'm slightly angled up, probably at about a 40-degree angle, so I can work my mid to upper traps here. Squeeze, actually wrong side. Supposed to be doing the injured side first. I thought, wow, that feels light. So you're gonna come up slowly, squeeze, and then down. Squeeze and then down. Obviously, if you were going much heavier, you probably wouldn't hold it for this long at the top. You just pause. But I'm trying to get that, really get that mind muscle connection here as I rehab this side. That felt good. Be able to go up next. Ah. Whew, that felt good. Still a little bit high. I'm probably going to go a little heavier on the next set.
Question from Facebook. Brandon wants to know, he's currently training for a triathlon and he often gets back spasms when transitioning from running to biking. Do you have any tips or is it just due to overtraining?
I have no idea what it could be because you could have an impingement there, you could have a nerve impingement, you could have a curvature of your spine. There's so many issues that it could possibly be, and without seeing an X-ray or an MRI, I just can't give you that information. I'd suggest that you go and get those issues seen to by a physician and get an X-ray or an MRI, because that's the only way that I kind of really know. When I've had back issues in the past, I've just gone straight to the quack and had my tests done, you know.
What is the benefit of Kaged's L-Carnitine and when do you take it?
Okay, L-Carnitine. So I like to take that before and after my workout and before my cardio. So it's great for wound healing. So what you may find when you're taking it before and after your workout, you won't feel as sore the next day. It really helps with the recovery. Most people consider it just primarily a fat burner, but it really does help with muscle recovery. So what it essentially does is shuttle fat into the mitochondria. Your mitochondria is your energy, that's the powerhouse. So it shuttle fat into your mitochondria, so it allows that fat to get utilized as an energy source, as opposed to like your carbohydrates or anything glycolytic, for instance. So, you know, by doing so, it can also help you lean out too.
Facebook wants to know, what is your opinion on multivitamins and will Kaged have one in the future?
Yeah, we've been working on a multivitamin since the start of the year, since the end of last year actually. And yeah, the multivitamin that we're going to be bringing out is going to be effectively dosed specifically for the athlete in mind, the active individual, because obviously we oxidize a lot more than the average person. And it's all gonna be organic and naturally grown vitamins and minerals. It's not gonna be synthetically made in a lab. So yeah, we are working on that. And yeah, I love multivitamins. I take multivitamins. I will usually go between like a Naturello or pure encapsulation company, something that's natural along those lines. All right, so let me get straight into the heavy ass weights, or heavier. I tell you what, this feels really good. It's funnily enough, because I haven't been training back, it's surprising how much it stresses your cardiovascular system, because I've been running, I've been cycling, and that doesn't stress me at all. Now doing this is getting me out of breath. So it goes to show how completely different this is, and it benefits you, hitting the gym and hitting the road there for your cardiovascular system. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the lighter side. Ooh, 40 pounds. Oh, that was good. That feels good. They might be little weights, built enough for a little woman. That wasn't a sexist remark, by the way. But it feels pretty darn heavy for me at the moment. Whew. God, it's surprising how quick you lose your strength. Just thinking that I only just, I haven't trained back for a couple of months. Normally, I would do maybe between 130, sometimes 150 pounds. And that actually feels that heavy at the moment. 70 pounds is crazy.
What is your current diet and what is your opinion on the keto diet?
My current diet actually is a little bit of keto, surprisingly enough. So because I'm not focusing on muscle building at the moment, I'm not even focusing on maintaining my muscle that much at the moment, really. I'm just using the rest of this year as a bit of a break for my body, get rid of a lot of the inflammation and focus on my cardiovascular endurance to hopefully be prepared in time for the Ironmans that I've got coming up in October and November. But what I'll do is like a cyclic keto diet. So I'm one of these people that can go into ketosis fairly quickly. I've done a bit of keto before, and some people need about at least 30 days to find ketosis, but I go in pretty quick. So what I'll do is follow like a bit of a keto diet. I will fast usually in the morning, not all the time, and then I'll just have fats in the afternoon, like low protein, just fibrous carbohydrates. I love salads, big salads. And then in the evening is when I'll usually have my carbs. So that normally knocks me out of ketosis. But when I wake up in the morning, I'll have my MCTs in my coffee and stuff. I'm back into ketosis. So I have a bit of a cyclic one. And I think a keto diet is very, very good to get rid of inflammation. A lot of carbohydrates are pro-inflammatory, especially a lot of grains for some people, sensitive individuals like myself. So it definitely has its time and place. They've done studies with VO2 max on people that are following a keto diet, and they found that their VO2 max was actually higher on the individuals that followed keto dieting. But obviously me getting ready for an Ironman or anything like that, I'm definitely not going to be hitting my VO2 max, so it's probably not something that I'm going to follow as it gets closer.
Do you prefer to do deadlifts on your back day or leg day?
On back day, definitely deadlifts on back day. I'll do stiff-legged deadlifts on leg day. It's definitely more of a back movement if you're doing it correctly. So yeah, it'll go on to today's back day as well. We'll be going really, really heavy, one plate aside. All right, I'm gonna attempt the 55 on my bad side now, on my weaker side, and see if my shoulder falls off or not. If my doctor is watching this now, please turn away. That feels really good. Whew. Whew. Yeah, God, that felt good.
We had a couple people ask us, why are you choosing to do deadlifts at the end of your lift versus the beginning, as in most normal programs?
Because if I do deadlifts at the beginning of the program and I fatigue my lower back, guess what's going to happen when I go onto single arm rows or bent over rows or reverse bent over rows or cable rows? My lower back is pre-fatigued. So my lower back that's been stressed the most is going to become my weakest link. And I'm not going to put all the effort and emphasis that I want to prioritize to my traps and lats. Now, if you find that your lower back is the weakness, like there isn't no wrong way or right way about this, let me just tell you that now. There's no right or wrong way. So if your lower back is your weakness, then prioritize with your deadlifts. Start with that exercise, you know? So, like a lot of people have weak calves and I'm like, well, why are you doing your quads or your squats or your leg press first? Do your calf press, your seated calf press first, then work on to the following exercises. So it's all about prioritizing.
When do I need to take creatine and how much?
Okay, when do you need to take creatine? And well, it all depends what form of creatine, number one. But your creatine on your training days before and after your workouts. So that's why Pre-Kaged has it already in its formula, and Re-Kaged, our post-workout protein, already has it in your post-workout. So, you don't have to worry about it. It's already in there. That's a creatine HCl version. Now, on your non-training days, what I like to do, I have a big jug, a gallon jug, a meathead jug that I walk around with all day, and in there I have like my hydrocharge, my glutamine, my fermented branched chain amino acids, but I'll also have my daily quota of creatine in that tub as well. Now I'll have the creatine HCl, and it goes by the pounds of body weight that you hold. That's all dependent on how much creatine that you should have. So that could be 1.5, it could be 2 grams of creatine per dose. You'd microdose creatine HCl, and it doesn't give me the fluid retention, stomach upset, or anything like that. That's why I go for that particular version. However, if you are taking a creatine monohydrate, you're gonna have to look at having 5 grams before your workout, 5 grams after your workout, and 10 grams on your non-training days. You know, the solubility isn't going to be as high, so you have to take a little bit more of a higher dose, and you can have it just throughout your day on your non-training day. Yay? Thank you for the rest. Okay, last set on here, and what's our last set? Come on, everybody, don't shout at once. Best set. Best set, baby. All right, unless somebody wants to volunteer to do another set for me. No, everybody's jumping at the chance. Oh man, I tell you what, I can't tell you how good that feels. I'm getting slightly aroused. Dumbbell rows will do it to you. Whew. Okay, 2 exercises down the hatch. Yay.
What is the best exercise to build a detailed lower back?
Deadlifts. Deadlifts for sure. You know, it's gonna be, it's not so much you're gonna be sculpting detail. And I always tell people this when it comes to like their back or chest or whatever muscle group that it may be. Some people say, hey, I really wanna work my inner pecs. Well, you can't really target your inner pecs to make that possible genetic weakness a strength. However, what you can do is build a massive pec here and a massive pec here, and then by default, you'll have more separation and definition right here. You know, your inner pec. So it's the same with your back, with your lumbar. If you work real heavy, strong deadlifts and incorporate higher repetitions there, and obviously be at a low body fat, because majority of people hold body fat in their lower back, then you'll have more definition and shape to your lower back.
Who is your idol, and what did you think about meeting Arnold at Gold's Gym?
Well, I've met Arnold many times. When did I meet Arnold last? 2 months ago at Gold's Gym, so I assume that's what you're referring to. But I met Arnold first time in 2000. So God, that would have been 18 years ago. And I've met with him quite a few times since then. And yeah, he's a cool guy, and I like him and I respect him, you know, enormously. But I wouldn't say he's my idol, so I didn't really get nervous or anything like that around him. Joe Weider was definitely an idol of mine, so I was quite nervous when I met with him for the first time. I had some great times with Joe, had lunch with Joe. It was just myself and him, and I remember he ordered me cream cheese and salmon, bagels. It's the first time I'd ever had a bagel in my life. In Wales, we don't really do bagels, you know, and I've never really had any bagels since, not my cup of tea, you know, but that was pretty cool. But my biggest idol is somebody who's outside of the bodybuilding world, or two of them actually. Richard Branson is definitely one of them, but I'd say my number one is Henry Rollins from the band originally Black Flag. Then he had his other band, the Rollins Band. I've seen him a few times. I've seen him in Australia, seen him in the UK. He's going to be here in Boise. I'll be seeing him here soon. And I remember the first time that I actually spoke to him, because we'd been emailing back and forth quite a lot. And when I met him in LA, he goes, "Hey, you're Kris." And I almost fell, you know, because I thought, wow, he recognizes me. And that's somebody that I really look up to, you know, for his work ethic. Like, he's got a tour happening now. He's got 46 shows in 46 days. And what is he at now, 56, 57? I like that relentless work ethic. You know, he comes from the working class field, and I respect that. Yay. Okay, so we got cable rows now. Let me move this out of the way. So when we were doing rows here on the bench, you'll see our angle was kind of like this. So we were working more of our upper traps there. Now I want to make sure that I target the lower traps, and the only way that I'm going to do that is at this angle. Now a lot of machines obviously aren't created or designed to target that angle, so you have to create the angle within your torso in order to reach that. So I don't have to really do that right now, because what I've done is set the cable up relatively high. I couldn't have it at the top because this shoulder just will not lift up that high at the moment. So I've put it at this height, and I'm going to use that as my angle, okay? So I'm still going to come down probably about 30, what would that be, 70 degrees, something like that. Coming down, making sure my elbow is tight to my side, and I'm squeezing those lower traps. Lats will come into this a little bit, obviously at this angle, but it's the lower traps, that bottom portion of that diamond shape of the traps is where I'm trying to target. Squeezing your shoulder blade back, rounding it forward. Squeezing back, forward. Again, I'm just going at a nice, slow, deliberate pace here, because I can feel the strain on my shoulder, especially as I reach forward, so I don't want that negative to go down too fast. Okay, I can go heavier on the next set, and I can go heavier, obviously, on my right side here. Whew. Yeah.
Question from YouTube. What is the best rep range for muscle growth to train in?
Anywhere between 5 and 50.
Super descriptive.
Yeah. So you obviously got to target your fast twitch muscle fibers when you go very heavy, very explosive out of the hole. And that's got to predominantly build up the size of your muscle. That's called, so when you're thinking of any type of hypertrophy or hypertrophy, however you Americans pronounce it, that's going to be your myofibrillar hypertrophy, okay? That's going to work your fast twitch muscle fibers. However, there's something called sarcoplasmic hypertrophy that really pushes the sarcoplasm, that's the fluid within the muscle. So I like to target both the fast twitch and slow twitch muscle fibers in a workout, and you'll always hear myself or Neil Hill say, leave no stone unturned. So if you look at the Y3T training protocol that Neil Hill has, one of the top trainers in the world, it targets both your fast twitch and slow twitch muscle fibers. So I always try to target anywhere between, say, 5 reps upwards as mainly up to, say, 30 repetitions to target just muscle building. If I'm trying to transform my physique, burn a lot of calories, I'll go anywhere between, say, 10 and 50 repetitions. But for muscle building, it's usually anywhere between 5 and 30.
Why do you currently use wrist straps or straps?
Why do I use them? Easy, because when I'm hitting back right now, I do not want my forearms or my grip strength to loosen or weaken, I'd say, because then my back, my traps, my lats are only going to be as strong as this weakest link. If this becomes weak and I'm not able to pull, and now I'm getting distracted because I'm trying to focus on gripping the bar or the dumbbell, then I'm not going to get the focus into my traps or my lats or wherever I'm working, and I'm not going to get that growth out of it. Remember, when it comes to the growth of a muscle, it's only that last 1 or 2 repetitions that really makes the change in your physique week after week after week. If you're trying to hit 15, 16 repetitions, but you fail at, say, 13, or you just stop at 13, I should say, then that set was a waste of time. So this allows me to get that extra 1 or 2 repetitions out. I like to have this Gym Reapers because it's got like nice sponge here. It's a strong strap, you know, so you know that's why you'll always see me using straps. However, you'll see people like Mike O'Hearn, Tito Raymond, guys like that don't use the straps. That works for them. This works for me. I've broken both of my wrists, so I need all the strength I can get. Okay? All right, going a little bit heavy on this one, so this is where I am going to start using the straps. Whew.
Are you planning on coming out with larger sizes of pre-caged and in-caged?
No, because like I use it selfishly. Recaged, in-caged, pre-caged is all designed as a system. I train 5 days a week. You have a month's supply of product there. Okay, so people are always asking, do a bigger tub. I'm like, buy 2, buy 4. It won't make it any cheaper if we make a tub double the size, because we get charged by the actual amount of this that goes into each scoop. You know, we have a lot of ingredients that go into each scoop. It isn't a tiny scoop. It's a 31.9 gram scoop, like in pre-caged alone. You're talking at 47 gram scoop in the recage. Doesn't make it any cheaper if we come out with bigger tubs. However, what we've noticed through marketing research, if we just have that size as a system, a month's worth, that provides the best bang for the buck.
Do you ever incorporate full body training sessions?
No, I never do full body. You know, I possibly could do now because I'm not training that hard, but I prefer to put more time, emphasis, and focus into each muscle group. You know, I just cannot get the amount of protein into me anyway if I was to train hard and do a full body, workout. You know, it's just not my clique. You know, I'd say if you're into more functional training, CrossFit, sure, do it. But I'm into bodybuilding. You know, you don't see people stepping on them, you know, the Mr. Olympia stage, hitting full body workouts.
Do you prefer to train in the early morning or the evening, and why?
If I could, I'd always train probably around 2, 3 o'clock in a day, but I can't because I just have a full day at work. I'm on, you know, conference calls. I have to do a lot of editing. I do a lot of writing. You know, I just got way too much on my plate. So I prefer, instead of having that stress and anxiety of knowing that when I'm in the gym, I prefer to just wake up early and get it done with, and then have that day to work and possibly relax. I don't like to train in the evening only because it stimulates me and I'm not able to sleep as much. You know, I eat a lot of food. I go through a lot of calories, a lot more than your average person. So if I train in the evening, I'm hungry during the night, so I'm not sleeping well. But, you know, in saying that, because I do work out in the morning, it's more convenient for me. I definitely don't like it. You know, the joints are a little bit drier. The inflammations can crop up a lot easier. My brain hasn't woken up, you know, as it should at that time in the morning. But, you know, it's this day and age, baby, and you guys want a lot from me, so I have to deliver it for you. So I'm thinking about you at the end of the day. All right. Try a little heavier again. I'm gonna fill up my boots with all those supplements that you got on the wall before I leave. And fill up my bag. Yep. Oh, yeah. Whew.
How do you stay focused on your long runs or long bike rides during your triathlon training?
Oh man, I absolutely love it. Absolutely love that time, because that is the only time that I'm out away from distraction, I'm away from the phone, I'm away from people. That's my alone time. That's my meditation time. So I always say that's my active meditation. I do have a meditation room at home now, but I definitely find it hard to meditate sat on my ass going home, as opposed to being out there on the trails, in the fields, just running. I just think it's absolutely fantastic. I love the fact I'm a lot lighter at the moment. I'm about 200 pounds, but normally being around 220 pounds and being able to run whenever I want. I want to go for a 10-mile run. Perfect, I can do it. Feels good that I'm working the most important muscle in my body, not my bicep peak, not my pecs. That's not going to take me to 100 years old, but working my heart. And that should motivate you. That should keep you focused, because the last thing that you want to do is be in a hospital or be in a retirement village and go, damn it, I really wish I'd just sat on my ass and not did any cardio at all and just did weights. You know, work your heart there, guys. Get out there, enjoy the outdoor nature, because in this day and age, because I'm old enough to witness this, we spend more and more time inside, or if we're outside, we're on our phone, we're distracted, we're not present. That gives you the opportunity of being present. Yeah, okay, deadlifts. Deadlifts is next. So we've done mostly our traps here using the unilateral and bilateral when we started. Now we're gonna work the lower back there. This will work your glutes and your hamstrings slightly, but we're not doing a stiff-legged deadlift. This is gonna be a conventional deadlift. I'll just demonstrate here. Make sure when you're doing this exercise that I like to have about shoulder width stance, that the bar stays close to your thighs and then your shins. So you actually do use your legs in this movement as well. If your hamstrings or your glutes or your calves are a weaker link, then you will feel that a little bit more, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after, as you get a bit of delayed onset muscle soreness. However, eventually your lower back and your back will become much stronger, and you'll feel it definitely through that area as you get heavier. All right, get straight into it. Okay. Feels good. Well, that felt really good. Felt really good on my shoulder. I'm going to stick to that weight though. Definitely got me out of breath. Definitely got me a little bit lightheaded. So it'll take me time to start, I don't know, what's the word? Conditioning myself to the actual stress on the lower back. So knowing that I got a few more sets to go, I'll keep it at that weight.
Since I work out late at night, do I need to change my nutrition as opposed to if I work out in the morning?
No, it doesn't matter. Like I used to work, like I've had a lot of jobs. I actually, when I was younger, I really liked working because that was the only way that I could afford anything because I was never given an allowance or anything like that. So I enjoyed working. But when I left school, I was doing shift work. So I'd work 6 in the morning till 6 in the evening, 1 week, and then the following week I'd work 6 in the evening till 6 in the morning. I hated that shift, but my nutrition was exactly the same. Didn't change at all. It was exactly the same. The only thing that you would change is possibly your supplementation. So obviously, if you're taking a pre-workout that has caffeine in it or stimulant and you find that that keeps you awake at night, then you definitely wouldn't take a pre-workout that has caffeine. So you do like, you mix your own system. So I travel a lot. When I'm traveling and I have to take a pre-workout, what I will do is mix my own. So I'll have my HydroCharge, I'll have my branched chain amino acids, sometimes my essential amino acids. I'll also have my fermented glutamine, my creatine, my citrulline, and I'll make my own pre-workout that's kind of stim-free.
Why did you get into triathlon training when you love bodybuilding so much?
I love them both. Well, the reason being is that I've always done cardio every day, sometimes the majority of the time twice a day. And I just found, wow, look at all these bodybuilders. They're kind of like static ornaments. It's not healthy. I see the aging process of them, you know, through the IGF-1 and the mTOR pathways. And I just see these people age. I'm like, guys, why don't you get out there and do some cardio? It's not healthy what you're doing. And they're like, oh, well, I'll lose all my muscle. I'll wither away. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're not. I find that if I do some cardio, you know, not excessive, it helps promote the blood flow around the body all the time, so it's able to assimilate the proteins, the amino acids, the nutrients to go into the muscle so I can better recover, better facilitate my performance the next day for my next bodybuilding workout. But they never saw it that way, so I was like, okay, I'll show you guys. I'm gonna get ready for a triathlon, an Ironman, in 6 months, and I won't lose any muscle. I'll show you. You know, obviously this is something extreme. I wouldn't expect anybody to do that much, but to show you, look, if you do 30 minutes of cardio a day, you're gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. It could possibly help you put on muscle. So that's the main reason why I did it, but you know, I really enjoyed it. You know, so like I said, I used to do cardio twice a day anyway. It would usually be like on the Stairmaster or on the elliptical or something like that. Now it just opened a world of opportunities of being outside. So, you know, that's why I just love it and I'm hooked on it now. But I'll always keep my pivotal foot in the gym. You know, this is my therapy first and foremost. It's a necessity for me. Good, yeah. One more set.
Do you have any cue tips for how to properly execute a deadlift?
Yeah, so I showed you at the very beginning. Rewind, and you'll see exactly the tips that I did there. They can watch it again, can't they? Yeah, you rewind about 10 minutes ago.
What are your thoughts on powerlifting?
Yeah, it's okay. It's just not for me. That's all, you know, I haven't really got much to share about it. The only thing that You know, I would never, it's never been my sort of thing. I used to train very, very heavy about, it would have been about 10, 12 years ago. I used to train very heavy. I used to have 7 plates aside on squats. And I'd do like 170 pound dumbbell press and stuff like that. And yeah, I got some growth out of it and it made me feel good and tough and strong. But I had more injuries than I did evolution from it. And that's how I kind of stumbled across DTP, because I was able to work around those injuries and inflammation, but I actually grew more. But for powerlifting predominantly, the only thing that scares me about it is that I just see so many people that are so young just hurt themselves that it kind of screws them for the rest of your life, you know. But as with anything, you know, it's kind of like an extreme sport, isn't it? You know, you're gonna have to face injury as that possibility at some point. You know, it's all about risk. So, you know, if that's what makes people feel good and alive, get over depression, improve their confidence or whatever, and that's your thing, you go ahead and do it, man. Don't hold back.
Question from YouTube. How do you manage your workouts when you don't have access to a gym?
I'll just do a lot of plyometric work. Sometimes, like I got a lot of travel coming up. So as of this weekend, I'm traveling. I come back for 2 days next weekend, but then I'm on the road again until early September. And then obviously going to be at the Bodybuilding.com booth at the Olympia. And then I go to Dubai, then I go to India, back to Dubai and back. So a lot of the time I'm not going to have access to a gym. Sometimes I will, majority of the times, but I'll just do plyometric work. So I may be doing standing squats. When I'm on the plane, I'll do what I call like piss squats. So it's as if I'm going to sit down to have a wee-wee, but I'm not. But I'm going to squat down, or you could even call it a box squat. And I'll just do maybe 50 of them whilst I'm on the plane, just to keep things moving. But when I get to the hotel room, I'll see what's in there. Maybe I'm lifting the chair that's in there for front raises. I'll see if there's any booze in the fridge for some side raises, you know what I mean? And do some squats, do some lunges, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, you know, all sorts, you know? Yeah? One more set. Yay. All right, that is the last set there. Any more questions?
What is the difference between the whey isolate and the recaged? Do I need to take both?
Yeah, you need to take both because they're both completely different products. Recaged is designed to be taken immediately after your workout because not only does it have the whey protein isolate in there, has your pro-hydrolyzed enzyme, has your creatine HCl, has your fermented glutamine, has your beta power, everything that you need to take post-workout. Whey protein isolate, you can take all other times. If you feel that you need to have more protein in your diet and you want a high premium flow of protein, take the isolate, knock it back in a shake. If you want a meal replacement or breakfast, have some oats, put a scoop of whey protein isolate in there. You want to cook with it, use the whey protein isolate, so it's versatile, you can have that anytime.
What are the benefits of Ferrodrox?
Ferrodrox increases and supports your natural free testosterone levels. So I don't call it a testosterone booster. It's not going to boost your testosterone. It's going to help you support natural and promote healthy, natural levels of testosterone. Because if you are low in testosterone, you're going to feel weak, you're going to age faster, you're not going to be able to focus, You know, you could be dealing with depression, who knows? And we live in an environment now, like look at all these cables here. We have Wi-Fi here, we're open to artificial light, we eat from plastics, sometimes drink from plastics, having recycled air that could potentially have different types of mold toxins in it. We're exposed to everything that could shoot up our estrogen levels and lower our testosterone levels. That's why if you look at the statistics of people over the past 20, 30 years, testosterone has nosedived, especially because we have a lot less sleep than we once did as well, and stress and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, even people, I know people that are 22, 23 years old that have testosterone levels of like 264. It's crazy. You know, they're not 77 years old, they're like 23. So that's why we decided to, you know, test Feridrox and bring that to the market after about 2.5 years of testing. That's it, almost there.
One last one from Jackie. She wants to start one of your programs. What would you recommend for her, and where can she find it?
Does she say what her goal is?
I'm assuming fat loss.
Fat loss, okay. Well, we're going to assume fat loss here. So I'd suggest the Hardcore Video Trainer. So if you check out the Hardcore Video Trainer on Bodybuilding.com, that's not only going to help you assist with fat loss, but it will help you support and grow muscle. Now, you're not going to turn into a butch guy or like a bodybuilder. You're actually going to provide shape to that muscle. Now, muscle density will burn off a lot more calories. So let's say you finish the program and you do want to enjoy a social gathering here or there. You'll have the muscle density that can help burn off those excess calories so you won't yo-yo diet. All right, guys, so thank you ever so much for joining me here. And whilst I sit here, I think I'm so bloody lucky because I first came up here to Bodybuilding.com in 2007, working as the editor-in-chief here initially, and I thought, wow, you know, I'm the luckiest person in the world. And now, just sat here, I'm thinking that again, like, I never thought that we'd have the Kaged muscle supplements actually on the wall in the Bodybuilding.com headquarters here in the gym. And, you know, I get to go to the Olympia, to be on the booth, to talk to you guys. So please make sure that you come onto the booth at the Olympia, onto the Bodybuilding.com booth, so we can have a bit of a chin wag, a chat, a chuckle, a cuddle, and all that good stuff. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'll be back very, very soon, and hopefully getting stronger to kick your butt. Until next time.
Hello, my strong friends, and welcome to my 8-week strength and muscle building program, Uplifted. This program is made to help you grow. Let's get lifting and get uplifted.
Gentlemen, when you think of an alpha male, you probably think of a dude who's big and strong. But in my opinion, a true alpha male is someone who also has the perfect balance of style and substance.
Welcome to my 30-day ab program. There are a lot of familiar movements, but there are plenty of others that you probably haven't seen before. You now have everything you need to build that six-pack you've always wanted.
Foundations of Fitness Nutrition is designed to be a comprehensive and applicable guide to help everyone make more educated choices about the food they eat.